Most people try to solve burnout at the wrong level. They try to fix their schedule. They try to be more productive. They try to regulate their nervous system. They try to take time off and try to think their way through the fear. But if the predators of the mind are active, thinking more is often the worst thing you can do. I'm Dr. Oscar Bettis, the Soul Recovery Specialist. Inside the Soul Recovery System, I teach black sheep visionaries, entrepreneurs, and healers how to recognize the deeper forces operating in their inner world. And if you don't learn how to navigate your inner world, you'll keep getting trapped in the same emotional territories over and over again. I'm going to show you the 5-step pattern that the predators use. First, they create fear. Second, they increase confusion. Third, they isolate you. Fourth, they exhaust you. And fifth, they devour your life force. Then, I'm going to give you a simple practice that you can use tonight to interrupt the pattern. The predators first create fear. The first move is always to create fear. Not wisdom, not intuition, not discernment. Fear. They get you to fixate on something that feels threatening. Your business failing, a client leaving, a partner rejecting you, your family judging you, your money running out, your work not mattering, your life passing you by. And once your attention locks onto that fear, your energy begins feeding it. The predators don't need to defeat you. They only need to capture your attention. This is why one thought can ruin an entire day. Nothing external has changed. No disaster has happened, but internally, you have entered a different geography, a place of panic, a place of contraction, a place where the world suddenly feels smaller, more dangerous, and more hostile. In nature, an ambush predator doesn't run randomly through the forest. It waits, it watches, it learns the habits of its prey. It knows the watering holes, the trails, the places where attention drops. The predators of the mind do the same thing. They know the exact places where you are vulnerable. Money, visibility, love, rejection, success, failure, purpose, family. And when you walk into that territory unaware, they strike. Ask yourself, what fear captures my attention most easily? That fear isn't random. It's a territory. And somewhere in that territory, a predator is waiting. But fear is only the first move. Once fear has your attention, the next move is confusion. After fear comes confusion. You start thinking, well, what should I do? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I ruin everything? What if I'm not ready? What if this is a sign that I should stop? And now, you're no longer responding to life. You are circling inside your own mind. Confusion is often fear wearing intellectual clothing. This is especially dangerous for intelligent people. Black sheep visionaries are often deep thinkers. Entrepreneurs are trained to strategize. Healers are trained to analyze. So when the predators create confusion, it can feel like wisdom, but it's not wisdom if it keeps you frozen. Imagine standing at the edge of a river. You need to cross, but instead of stepping into the water, you spend 6 months studying river theory. You read books about currents. You watch videos about bridges. You ask everyone else how they crossed, but you never take the step. That is what the predators do. They turn reflection into paralysis. Here's a diagnostic question. Is this reflection leading me towards action, or is it helping me avoid action? If it's helping you avoid action, it's not discernment. It is the predator tightening the circle. And once confusion gets strong, when it gets strong enough, the next move is predictable. You isolate. The predators know that isolation makes you easier to feed on, so they convince you to pull away. Don't tell anyone. Don't ask for help. Don't let people see you like this. Handle it yourself. You should be stronger than this. And because black sheep already know what it feels like to be misunderstood, isolation can feel familiar. It can feel safe even. Isolating is where the predator's voice gets louder than your own. This is why people often disappear right when they need support the most. They stop responding. They stop creating. They stop moving. They stop being honest. They tell themselves that they are processing, but often they're not processing. They're being hunted internally. Pack predators separate one animal from the herd, not because the herd is weak, because connection is protection. The moment that the animal is alone, it becomes easier to chase, exhaust, and overpower. The same thing happens in the inner world. The predators separate you from friends, mentors, nature, community, prayer, movement, and your own deeper knowing. When you feel the urge to isolate, ask, am I choosing solitude from my center, or am I hiding from fear? There's a difference. Solitude restores you. Isolation diminishes you. And once you're isolated, the predators do what all predators do. They chase you. They hunt you down. If this is helping you understand your own patterns in a new way, subscribe to this channel. This is where we talk about the deeper work of soul recovery, the flowering war, ancestral healing, nature-based spirituality, and the path of the black sheep visionary who is here to become more alive, not more exhausted. And if you want to go deeper, there's a free soul recovery masterclass, link in the description. So the fourth thing that they do is that they exhaust you. Once the predators have created that fear, increased confusion in you, and isolated you, they run you down internally. So you replay conversations, you imagine arguments, you prepare for disasters, you compare yourself to everyone else, you scroll, you obsess, you overthink, you try to solve your life without moving your body, changing your state, or reconnecting to anything real. This is how burnout begins to deepen. Burnout isn't always caused by doing too much. Sometimes it's caused by being hunted inside your own mind. This is why you can wake up exhausted before anything has happened. Your body slept, but your inner world never rested. The predators were chasing you all night through fear, resentment, shame, and unfinished internal battles. If an animal is chased long enough, it collapses. Not because it lacks strength, but because no living being is meant to run forever. The same is true of your life force. When your mind keeps chasing imaginary threats or being chased by them, your body eventually says, I can't keep doing this. The moment the voices get loud, don't sit there trying to think your way out of it. Get up and move, walk, shake, train, dance, do qigong, go outside, put your feet on the earth. Move your body to move your mind. Because if you don't interrupt the chase that is going on in your mind, the predators will move to the final stage. They'll devour you. The predators devour you through the behaviors that you turn to when you are exhausted, overworking, avoiding, numbing, scrolling, drinking, picking fights, ghosting people, sabotaging opportunities, saying yes when your whole body says no. This is where the predator becomes most dangerous, because now it's no longer just influencing your thoughts. It's influencing your actions. The predators of the mind feed through every action that betrays your heart. Inside SRS, I teach that burnout often comes from a long series of little betrayals. Every time you say yes when your body says no, every time you abandon your true nature in order to be accepted, every time you choose approval over truth, every time you participate in something that makes your body contract, a small wound is created. And over time, those wounds, they grow. They become emptiness. And that emptiness becomes food for the predators. Think of a fire. A healthy fire gives warmth, light, protection, and life. But if no one tends it, it begins to die. The predators don't need to put your fire out all at once. They only need to keep stealing small pieces of fuel. One compromise, one resentment, one abandoned dream, one ignored boundary, one more yes that should have been a no. Eventually, you look at your life and wonder where the fire went. Ask yourself, where am I betraying my heart in small ways? Not dramatic ways, but small ways. That is where soul recovery begins. Now, here's the part that most people miss. The predators of the mind are not the same as your wounded protectors. This distinction matters. Adversaries are wounded parts of you that resist change because they are trying to protect you. They may be scared, defensive, reactive, even aggressive. But underneath it, they're trying to protect a wounded or fragmented part of you. Predators are different. Predators aren't there to protect you. They're there to tear you down, to devour your life force. They speak in vicious, brutal, diminishing ways. Not every inner voice deserves compassion. Some voices need recognition, boundaries, and refusal. This is why being kind to every part of yourself can become confusing. Yes, you can approach wounded parts with patience, but when an inner voice is mocking you, degrading you, pushing you towards self-destruction, or feeding rage and fear, that's not a wounded child asking for love. That is a predator of the mind. If a wounded dog growls because it is scared, you approach carefully. But if a wolf is stalking your home, you don't invite it into your bed. Discernment matters. Compassion without discernment becomes self-abandonment. Ask yourself, is this voice trying to protect a wounded part of me, or is it trying to tear me down? That question alone can change everything. And once you recognize the difference, you can begin the warrior's response. The warrior's response is action. The predators of the mind want you passive. They want you sitting and stewing in it, watching, scrolling, thinking, comparing. They want you trapped in the spectator society where watching life replaces living it. The warrior's response is action. Not frantic action, but aligned action, embodied action. Action that returns you to your center. Knowledge is not power. Wisdom is power. And wisdom requires action. You can know everything about healing and still be powerless if you do not act. You can read every book, watch every video, understand every trauma response, name every pattern. But until knowledge becomes action, it remains potential. Knowledge plus action becomes experience. Experience plus reflection becomes wisdom. And wisdom is power. You don't become a warrior by studying the sword forever. At some point, you have to pick it up. At some point, you have to move. At some point, you have to face the thing that says that you cannot. When the predators say, you can't do that, do one small version of exactly that. Send the message, take the walk, make the offer, say the no, open the document, record the video, tell the truth. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. Action is how you reclaim your power. Tonight, take 10 minutes and write down the last time that you spiraled. Not the whole story, just a sequence. And use this map. What fear captured my attention? How did confusion grow? How did I isolate? How did I exhaust myself? What behavior did I use to numb, avoid, attack, overwork, or betray myself? What action would have interrupted the pattern earlier? What would my warrior's heart choose next time? Don't use this to shame yourself. Use it to study the predators of the mind, like a tracker in the wild. You are learning its territory, its timing, its tactics, its favorite entrances into your mind. And the more clearly you see the pattern, the less power it has over you. The predators of the mind are dangerous when they remain invisible, but once you learn their pattern, something changes. You stop thinking every fear is truth. You stop thinking every doubt is wisdom. You stop thinking every cruel inner voice is you. And you begin to recognize the difference between your center and the forces that pull you away from it. This is the beginning of the flowering war. Not a war against yourself, a war for your life force, a war for your heart, a war for the medicine that you came here to carry. If this helped you understand your inner world more clearly, subscribe and share this with someone who has always felt like the black sheep, the visionary, the healer, the one carrying more than they can explain. And if you're ready to go deeper, watch the free Soul Recovery Masterclass that's in the link below. In that training, I'll show you how burnout, ancestral grief, soul loss, and the predators of the mind are connected, and how the soul recovery system helps black sheep turn visionaries, entrepreneurs, and healers reclaim their energy, their purpose, and their path.